McBroom.
Bryce Hall.
Austin McBroom has went off.
Hey guys, Mello back again with another video. Today we'll be talking about the YouTuber vs TikToker event, which is confirmed to be happening on June 12th. Today's video will be talking about everything that I already know about the card, things that might happen in the future regarding the card, and finally to top it off, my opinions on this card. From the trailer, we know that this event will be taking place in the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. A huge question I was playing in my mind and thinking about the location of this event is whether the free knockdown rule applies to this event. If you guys don't know what the free knockdown rule is, let me explain it for you. If the fighter kind of falls down and touches the canvas, being the floor, then that would be scored as one knockdown. If you guys remember, this was a huge part of the Jake vs. Anisong Gibb fight.
It's the guy that tends to take control of the fight early.
Yes, you got to. He's hurt.
Gibb is hurt. And now he's down again. And that is it.
Gibb touched down the canvas 3 times, therefore he lost in the first round against Jake Paul. I believe some of the fights on this card will be professional or maybe an exhibition, and if they were to be this in Miami, the same place where Gibb lost because the free knockdown rule, would this mean that this rule also applies to the people fighting on this card? That is a huge factor that may make or break a fight in this card. I believe since most of the fights will probably be amateur, due to the fact that this is the first time for many of the people fighting on the card to actually step into the ring, I believe that most fights will be amateur, probably head guards and at least 16-ounce gloves. Because when you're thinking about it, if you're putting guys that have never fought in their life in the ring, they definitely need some sort of protection to protect themselves, otherwise there will be a lot of knockouts. And yes, that might seem interesting, but if you just start a fight until he gets knocked out right away, that'll take away a lot of the entertainment value that we could be getting from this type of event. However, I do believe there will be 1 to 3 professional or at least exhibition fights on this card. And one of the fights being probably the most obvious answer, being the main event, Austin McBroom versus Bryce Hall. According to Bryce Hall, he says that he has had at least 30 fights.
In like 2, just me alone. I've been with you like twice. You're 2 out of 2 for me, bro.
In my life, probably like 30.
Yeah, he's feeling amateur. I don't believe him for a second, but in Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast, he has claimed he has fought multiple times and he wants to do a professional bout. I believe that he won't get a professional bout, probably an amateur sort of exhibition. He might be allowed no head guards, and I believe that would make a huge difference in the final fight. And of course, when you're having the final fight being the main card, the main event, you want it to be exciting. Therefore, maybe there will be no head guards. But I've heard rumors about a possible no head guard but 14-ounce gloves bout, and I do think that this will be very interesting because 14-ounce gloves compared to 10-ounce, which being the previous fight, KSI v Logan, Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, and Jake Paul versus Gibb, they have all been 10-ounce gloves and no head guards. I believe no head guards plays the biggest role in any sort of fight, but 14-ounce gloves does still sound acceptable in my opinion and will lead to a very interesting fight. The next fight that will most likely be some sort of professional exhibition is Deji versus Vinny Hacker.
Deji, you're never gonna box again. Honestly, all the people, all those tweets, all those messages, all of that, all those people saying that's it for you, Dej. Like, you're like shit. You lost to Jake Paul. You're bad. You suck. Just quit boxing. Yeah, I didn't listen to any of those people.
Deji has said this multiple times on record that he wants to have a professional bout due to the fact that when he fought Jake Paul and he lost his first amateur fight, he was 0-1. But if he were to start a professional career and he was 1-0, that would look way better on his record, which I totally get because, when you go into a professional bout, you don't want to be 0-1. You want to be seen as 0-0, and if you do win, then 1-0 to Deji. So I do respect that. And I do think that Deji possibly being the co-main event to this card because, he's pulling a huge UK audience, having, KSI's fan base behind him and the whole of the UK, the whole of Sidemen's fan base behind it. He wants to have a huge fight, a huge combat fight, and therefore I believe he's a co-main event and he could possibly get a professional or exhibition bout on this card. The final fight that will most likely be a professional bout is Taylor Holder versus Yu Pick. And I'm not sure if people are just gassing him up like how people gassed up Gibb to fight Jake, but is Taylor Holder really the best guy on the card? Is he really the most experienced guy? Because if he is, then he should probably fight you know, a professional bout. Because when you're thinking about it, if you're having the most high-skilled person on the card fighting amateur, it wouldn't really look that good. But if you had the most experienced guy on the card being apparently Taylor Holder, you should have the tools to have a really cool-looking high-skilled fight. And if he was to do that, then you'd have to give him a professional bout. That's literally the only way to solidify him as the best person on the card. And you know, people are saying, who is this Taylor guy gonna fight? And that brings me to the next topic of the video, being the UPick or the community aspect of this event.
Done something right. They've got a whole event full of influencers, content creators. That's what we need. They replicate the first two events, and there's a reason why they were so successful. But they're missing some foundation, some good building blocks on why those events were so successful. Where's True Geordie? Where is Joe Weller? Where is Theo Baker? They should be a part of this event, Social Gloves. You gotta realize what made.
For the record, Gib is 100% right. We need to have more UK representation on the card. The reason being is because this whole YouTube boxing thing started with Joe Weller and Theo Baker, two guys from the UK. We have a lot of LA guys on this card, and you know, much respect to America, they are quite entertaining, but we need to have the original foundation, like Gib said, the building blocks of this whole event, to have True Geordie and possibly Mike Malak, in my opinion, because they won't just do full UK, they want to represent both UK and America. Therefore, maybe Mike Malak, he's very sophisticated. A lot of people in the UK even like him through Logan Paul's, you know, podcast. He's a great guy. And True Geordie being the original commentator of the original YouTube boxing fight, being KSI versus Joe Weller. We need them to be commentating on this card. Furthermore, Gib believes that he should fight Taylor Holder on the card. There are many reasons, but let me quickly summarize to you why I think Gib should fight on this card, especially against Taylor Holder. Gib is probably the biggest call out Taylor Holder's gonna get. Gib has the whole UK behind him. He'll be the UK versus America dynamic. Gib needs a comeback fight. Taylor Holder's going to be looking at Gib against Jake, and he'll be like, alright, this guy's easy. Therefore, more people go against Gib. Gib will be favouring Taylor Holder, and it'll just build that dynamic of, you know, Gib being the underdog. And if Gib does come through and does, you know, prove the world wrong, then it will be a huge comeback fight. In regards to the person that should be on the main card on the TikTok side, I really couldn't tell you because I'm not into TikTok. Anyways, let's talk about the company running this whole event. Introducing Social Gloves, the company and mastermind behind this whole event. Major props to this company. They're not only being very smart in the business aspect, but also applying and appealing to the general audience of YouTube and TikTok. Following the footsteps of the original two events like Anise and Gib mentioned before, learning from the mistakes of DAZN and Triller, they are using their business mind into thinking what event will be the biggest. They're not thinking whether it will damage the sport, which people may say, oh, why are they allowed to host this huge event? They don't respect the sport of boxing. But when you think about it, the big mistake that DAZN made, and also Triller later on, is that they did not make a full YouTube card, and they weren't really listening to the original fans that made the original two events so big. Their business strategy of getting the whole internet involved and giving us a huge choice on what will happen during the event, being the UPick side, will get all corners of the internet involved with this event, not only making it more viral, but every single person that wants to join this card, or every single person wants to get involved with this event, has the opportunity to get involved. Therefore, their audiences will make this event even more bigger. So basically, it's a free marketing strategy. You basically have a whole event. People that want to join the event will have to make a video to actually be on that card, and then if they're accepted or not, it doesn't really matter. They still get a lot of free promotion out of it. But the DAZN events were really controversial due to the fact of no, you know, YouTubers besides KSI, Logan, and Anise on Gib and Jake being on the actual event. And I do completely understand that, and that's why I think Social Gloves is doing a great job at what they're doing right now, and they should probably continue doing it. So a few days ago, they invited a lot of different influencers to have a huge sparring tournament, and the person that wins the sparring tournament basically will be on the prelims of the undercard, I suppose, of the main event. It's kind of confusing, but you know, they're providing a lot of content, they're building engagement with the audience, and they're making us choose on who we want to be on this card. And they're planning to do this again, but with TikTokers. So I think what they're doing right now is great, and if they continue doing it, which I definitely think they will, because they have a solid 2 months until the event, this event will be absolutely huge. My predictions for the event, I don't really know anything about anybody besides Deji, maybe Bryce Hall, and if Gib was to fight Taylor Holder, then yes, that too. And if I was to judge those 3 fights, I think Austin McBroom versus Bryce Hall, I'm obviously team YouTube because I'm a YouTuber. I think Bryce Hall might win because his apparent 30 fights and experience, and also he recently fought a guy called Stromedy. And if the fight was supposed to be a professional fight, and had no head guards, and Bryce Hall can knock out people, and has the knockout power, and we've seen it before, then he could possibly knock out Austin McBroom. That's literally all I know. Like, I can't really give you much more than that. Next, Deji versus Vinny Hacker. Deji has obviously fought before on one of the biggest stages, being Manchester Arena, and Vinny Hacker's never fought before. I think because of the experience, and also because Deji's taking this very seriously, and he's naturally good, he's naturally built. I've already talked about this in previous videos, but I do think Deji will beat Vinny Hacker. In my opinion, if it's no head guards and it's 14-ounce gloves, I think Deji knocks out Vinny Hacker round 2 or round 3. Maybe round 2 or round 1, really depends on how good Deji gets, but after seeing a lot of footage on his team's Instagram, I think he probably will knock him out, like, within the first 3 rounds, because he's taking it seriously, he's training, his natural ability, his speed, he has power. Vinny Hacker, we don't know much about him, he's never been in a fight, and Deji's already been through the ringer, so Deji, I think round 2, round 3. Yeah, that's probably an accurate prediction, but yes, they are subjected to change. And finally, Anison Gib, if he does fight against Taylor Holder. If Taylor Holder is as good as people say, and Gib can't just do the same ducking strategy where he weaves down and gets knocked out within the first round, he has to approach it a bit differently, and Gib's not going to approach it a bit differently because, as his team said, Gib was actually meant to be taught a different style than pure aggression in his fight against Jake, and he couldn't really adapt well to that, so I believe he'll do his same old strategy, but he will be a bit more cautious, he'll be a bit more on edge when he's fighting somebody. So I think Gib will win because of pressure, dealing with adversity, experience in general, and the will to actually win. Anyways, that is all from me, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Take care, and hopefully I see you eventually. My upload schedule's all over the place. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys hopefully within the next month or 2. Bye.